It's week 0. We have done it. College football is very back and better than ever. And we are excited around here because we are mostly college football and we have actual games. We are 4 days away. Thank you all for being here. This podcast is brought to you by you, the viewers. So thank you so much for being here. We are mostly college football. Check us out on all the socials, which is mostly college football. So just type it into whatever social media you want to follow us on and go ahead and hit that follow button. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and share any clip, any YouTube video, the podcast, wherever you can get the podcast, wherever you can get your view. Robert, are you excited? We're back and better than ever.
Brother, I could not be any more excited because we got football this weekend. A little teaser from last week. We had some high school football. But now we get the meat and potatoes. Now's the real deal.
Yeah, and we get 2 standalone weeks from college football before the NFL rudely invades what is a glorious, glorious sport. And why don't we start there? Because the NFL is invading. I didn't even try that. That's how good I am at this. That's how good I be. The NFL is invading college football. And what I mean by that is, as everyone knows, and we have covered, there was an injunction given to the class of 2022 allowing the kids who hadn't played 4 years to come back to college for a 5th year. Now, what most people missed is last week, a 10th Circuit Court put a stay on that injunction. So federally, that injunction is no longer in effect, meaning this is not nationwide. You can't come back to college for a 5th year. However, what you can still do, and what has been done this whole time, is you can go to the state level, get an injunction, call 1-800, get that injunction, and then play while your injunction's going. Most notably, Daquan Wright, formerly tight end of Ole Miss, when undrafted, signed to the Philadelphia Eagles, received a $25,000 signing bonus, got waived by the Eagles, signed with the Browns, played an entire preseason with the Browns, was probably going to be a practice squad player or at least a low-level salary player in the NFL, and said, I can make more money back in college. He called 1-800, got his injunction. He called up his old coach, Lane Kiffin, now at LSU. And Lane Kiffin says, bring it on in, buddy. We got you. So Daquan Wright is now the first player to go from an NFL roster back to college. And he will be playing, assuming his injunction doesn't get overturned or anything, he will be playing in 2 weeks for the LSU Tigers. Robert, what are we doing?
Well, it should they need to make it a rule. If you go back to college, you're done in the NFL. Because what the goal of every kid growing up that plays football, make it to the NFL. Make it to the NFL, the NFL, and the NFL. Then you get the harsh reality that, hey, you're just not really that good. No matter what big program you go to, Ole Miss, LSU, Michigan, Ohio State, Notre Dame, whatever, you're undrafted. Guess what? That just means you're just not good enough. So then you go back to college, and it's like, well, that's your only shot. And you're only doing it for a year. Like, it's not like you're going back for 4 years. So it's like it's a business decision for a one-time payment instead of sticking it out, being an adult, and getting better at your craft. Instead, you're going to go back and play with more of your caliber of players, which is college athletes.
Right. So a lot of people are having a problem with this. You being one of them, me being one of them. I'm just kind of along for the ride. This is asinine, but like, what else am I going to do, right? The Big Ten, let me back up. The SEC is allowing this to happen. So last night, I'm going to give it to everyone in chronological order.
Give it to us.
Give it to you. Last night, the SEC released a statement. They had a conference call a video conference, and then they released a statement, and I will read the statement verbatim, and this is the following. College athletics, not former professional athletes, have been at the heart of the Southeastern Conference. Individuals who chose to leave college athletics, sign professional playing contracts, and compete professionally should not then be permitted to return to college competition. Allowing that to occur will blur the line between college and professional sports. Timeout, we're already there. Resuming. Create significant competitive equity concerns and reduce opportunities for high school and current college athletes. College sports are for college athletes. The current confusion around national eligibility standard emphasizes the need to advance the Protect College Sports Act, which is right now in Congress, which would be federally. None of this statement, Robert, I don't know if you caught this, says that the SEC is barring kids coming back and playing for SEC teams. None of this says that.
Well, no, they're not going to.
No. They are now in favor of a Protect College Sports Act that, if everyone wants to remember and take a trip down memory lane, not even 2 months ago, they came out and said they hated this. They don't want anything to do with this. And now they're in favor of it. However, none of that says that DeQuan Wright can't come play in the SEC conference. Robert, you tell them why that is.
Well, when your conference has not won the national championship in 3 years, and you're been banging your chest saying it just means more, it just means more in the SEC, you're going to do whatever you can to get that conference back on top. And if that means that you got to poach the players from the NFL to come back down to the SEC and give Lane Kiffin the only shot he's ever going to get at winning something, then that's what the SEC is going to do. The Big Ten at least grew a set and said, no, you're not coming here.
And then this morning, thank you, Robert, for bringing this kind of full circle. This morning, the Big Ten came out and said, we'll do you one better, SEC, since we've already won 3 straight. And since we are the better conference now, we're just going to say, no, you're not allowed to do this. The NCAA, I was listening to Siski's podcast. He says the NCAA could come out and said, fine, the players can do that. That's fine. They can come back. But any team that accepts it, they're going to find the coach. They're going to take revenue away. They're going to, find them, suspend the coach, and find the team. They could come out, and they haven't, but they could come out and do this. I want it to be perfectly clear. I'm not blaming DeQuan Wright for coming back and making more money. This is not on him. I am not even blaming the NCAA for this. I am blaming judges and I can't even blame lawyers because they're just getting paid too. But I am blaming entities outside of the NCAA for allowing this to happen. I am putting 5% onus of the blame on the NCAA for not having enough foresight to say, hey, we're probably going to get sued if we introduce this 5 for 5 because all the players that started 5 years ago are probably going to find this unfair, so they're going to get sued. So let's come up with a plan for that. But, I will only give them 5% from that. So DeQuan Wright, as of right now, and of course, Robert, it's Lane Kiffin. Of course it's Lane Kiffin.
It comes full circle because it's like, okay, he's the bad guy. What would be the most bad guy thing for him to do? Oh, wait, you can come back for a 5th year? Join LSU. Like, it doesn't make it any better. And now, is it going to be, it's almost twofold. If he turns around and wins a national championship, then it becomes, oh, well, he was bringing in all these other players, blah, 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 blah. But then if he doesn't, then it's like, oh, well, he couldn't even win with, ex-NFL players now.
Yeah, I am hopeful, and Lane Kiffin is like, well, basically, if he can't beat him, join him. They can either be, he took the stance, they can either be on your team or they can go play maybe even against you, or they can go play elsewhere across the country. That's fine. Since when is LSU lacking in depth nowadays, right? With Portal King, LSU fans beating their chest. They basically have claimed they've already won the national championship this year because Lane just walked on campus. So I don't know where this leaves us. This will be a ever evolving story. Robert, do you want to put betting odds on whether the SEC puts an embargo on this, and or whether Daquan Wright will actually play for the Tigers this year? I mean, it's kind of the same question, I guess.
Well, considering what we got, he's got 2 weeks, which means the SEC has 2 weeks to, you know, try and protect the integrity of college football, essentially. And the NCAA, if they go and they take revenue away from teams, the NCAA is just going to keep getting wrapped up in court. Like, they might as well just book a hotel room across from whatever court that they need to, because the ultimate thing is they're just going to be there. No matter what they do, they are going to be there, because we just have random judges throughout the country who think they know better than everybody else. But I'm going to say he plays 2 games.
Yeah, I was going to say he doesn't get past the month of September before some judge or some ruling or something comes down.
Yeah, so there's going to be something somewhere is going to come down where they make a ruling that he can't or whatever, and then you have to look at him and it's like, okay, so now what do? You got waived from Cleveland.
Well, he asked to be waived,
right? So why would you want him back?
That's a good point. I got the impression that Cleveland was gonna sign him either to like a rookie contract and put him on the roster, or put him on the practice squad. Like, and watching him play last year, he is talented enough to be on an NFL roster. Maybe not Gronkowski, maybe not Travis Kelce, Dallas Goedert, whoever, but he is like talented enough to play in the NFL. But that's a good point. Robert, that is a good point. But if I was his agent, I'd be like, well, he's just looking out for him, right? He's going to make more money.
Yeah. Well, guess what? In the NFL, dog, we're not looking out for you. Like,
yeah, the NFL
we're looking out for
the
team,
right? Yeah.
Ourselves in the team. And if you're willing to give up on the team to go make like maybe $1 million, because they're not going to give them a lot. They have their rosters at like 43 million, so the most they can give is 7 at the most, and they're not going to.
And that's the other thing that people may not be realizing is in all of this, when you have, Daquan Wright is not the only player to do this. He's the only high profile player going to a high profile team doing this so far that I have found. But when you welcome kids back, your roster's already set. And remember, there are new roster limits in college football now. You're only allowed 105 kids. They increase the scholarship. So when Daquan Wright comes back, he either has to be a walk-on, right, which is probably the case. You can't give him a scholarship, I would assume. So he's going to be a walk-on, but that still displaces someone else from the roster. It's going to be a very fascinating story to follow all season. We're not even at week 0 yet, and the rosters aren't even set, which is wild. That college football has open season, open free agency right before its season starts. Robert, with a new season comes new rule changes, and I do not believe we went over these, so I'm just going to do a little education for you, the listeners, the fans, everyone else. So some rule changes that are in effect this season. Number 1, targeting that occurs in the second half will no longer carry over to the first half of the next game if you are a first-time offender. So no more of this BS. Jayshon Barnum last year hit the Fresno State quarterback. It was a BS targeting call. He sat out the next game for Oklahoma in week 2. That is no longer the case. But someone who has multiple targeting penalties against them, they will have to sit out. Robert, offensive pass interference. The reel I was watching, they had no idea how many yards offensive pass interference was. Do you know how many yards it is? Because I do.
It's 15.
It's 15 yards.
right?
They,
Or spot foul, depending. College is stupid,
right.
but
Depending on how close you are to the goal line, it could be half
yeah.
the distance to goal. Well, now it's only 10 yards.
Here's my thing: why isn't defensive 10 yards then?
Dude, I don't know. You got me.
It, like if you're gonna you're making it so that the offense doesn't get penalized. Really,
Yeah.
I mean they still get penalized, but not as much.
It's unequal. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very weird rule change that I don't know if that needed to be changed.
I agree with you.
Like I don't recall there being a lot of offensive pass interferences that were just incredible, game changing.
Do you think the holding yardage needs to be changed? I've always kind of been on the bandwagon that 10 yards for holding too much. I'd do 5.
I would, yeah.
I'd do 5 and call it a lot more frequently.
Well, yeah, well, if you could call it every play if you really wanted to.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it was I don't think defensive holding should be an automatic first down either. Is it not?
It's a 5-yard penalty, automatic first down, right?
Yeah.
So it should just be a 5-yard penalty.
Just make it 5. Just make it 5. Make offense 5.
I agree with you. 5 and 5, or make it 5 and 10, but don't make it an automatic first down. Even though 10 would be an automatic first down. All right, I digress. The first down celebration where you slime the nose, this one, is now a 15-yard penalty.
Yeah. Here's a hot thing. I think anyone that celebrates a first goddamn down should get a penalty. How stupid is that? Congratulations, you did the same thing that 30,000 other kids just did. You didn't score a touchdown. You got 11 yards for first down. Good job.
Do you remember Tyreek Black? He played for Michigan. He was
wide receiver.
A wide receiver. Yeah. He made this. He was hurt. He was a super freshman. Came in, scored a touchdown against Florida. Then was hurt, and then as a sophomore was hurt, but kind of came back and made this. Michigan was blowing someone out, and made this first down, like a routine first down, and got up and made a demonstrative first down and got flagged 15 yards from it. And that was the last time you saw him on the field.
Yeah, I just don't. Celebrating a first down is just so stupid. That I think we celebrate way too much during the game. Like the number of cornerbacks that, for the love of God, that ball is thrown into row 15.
Yeah.
Like it is just it's almost out of the stadium. And it's like, no, dude, that quarterback threw the ball away. And I think we do too much. Because, and everyone's like, oh, it's part of the game. It's part of the game. And it's like, no, really, it's not. There's no aspect from 2010 on. Yeah, it became part of the game because it just became stupid. Because we have kids playing the game.
My favorite is when the wide receiver drops it. And then they're doing
still on lockdown.
Yeah. And they're still on, and it's like, dude, you got burnt by like 2 feet. This was a touchdown if you didn't drop it. What are you doing?
Cornerbacks on they are either an absolute hero or it's everyone else's fault. You could have a corner get burnt and a wide receiver take it 100 yards and they'll be like, yeah, but did you see the linebacker? He didn't chip the guy properly, and it's like, oh, we're just not going to talk about the fact that the corner can't even cover,
right? And
then it's just like everyone else is the bad guy.
Didn't rotate over the top fast enough. He's supposed to be here, and
they're in man coverage, and the safety's covering 95% of the field, and you're getting torched off the line in the first 5 yards.
Right?
Nope, it's not the corner's fault.
The only first down I'm okay celebrating is a first down to win the game. It's third and 2.
A closing first down.
A closing first down. Yeah. I am 100%. I am also not okay with, to be fair to the defense, I'm not okay with sacks being celebrated. Because I feel like a lot of times especially in nowadays college football, they sack them. It's a whole thing. tempo, we're getting back up to the line. They're still messing around,
Oh
and
yeah.
now you're not getting set and and now you're getting beat over the top. Like Michigan used to do that all the time.
Well, and like the team celebrations, it's an interception. Everyone run to the
Oh
other end of the
yeah,
field,
let's just get
and it's like,
on with it.
guys, hey,
Run to the sideline and go do
congratulations,
that.
you picked the ball. You're down 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Like, what are you
Or
celebrating
or
for?
they intercepted the ball at the far 20, so they got to run 80 yards. And now we're just like, oh my gosh, okay. So now we got to sit here for 5 minutes and watch them run all the way down to the end zone, get their picture taken, and then get off the field or get a penalty because it's
Yeah,
excessive celebration.
wide
I'm
receiver catches the ball 15 yards downfield, has total control of the ball, gets hit by a corner or a safety, still a catch, but that corner's like, yeah, yeah,
Oh yeah,
I laid a big hit, and it's like, yeah, he just got 15 yards. What are you
it's
doing?
first down. It's first
Yeah,
down.
he's celebrating first down. He's acting tough, and like his players are all like, yeah, you hit him good, And it's like, yeah, dude,
The
you played football.
this yeah,
Congratulations.
the sideline's like, yeah, you did it, and it's like, does no one see that Jeremiah Smith just came down with that football? No,
Yeah,
it's
and
fine.
it's just like it's so stupid. We celebrate too much. It's just it's unnecessary.
I would agree with you. A little less celebration. Celebrate when you get a touchdown, closing first down, sack to win the game, or closing sack, whatever you want to do. Celebrate at the end of the night. I am okay with the props on the sideline to celebrate a turnover because that's on the sideline. Go to the sideline. We're not taking away from the pace of play. College football is already slow enough, and there's way too many commercials to begin with. Finally, we are going to 2 challenges per game, Robert. And as long as you win one of them, you get a third, which I think is going to slow the game down even more because you got the challenge anytime ref, in the booth ref. Now you can call a timeout challenge, call another timeout challenge. And if you win one, you get another one.
I think if you are going to give them the option to have two and possibly a third, you get rid of the review anytime.
That's what I'm thinking. You have, and maybe they're going to do it in stages. I could see them doing that where let's see how this works. As long as it works well, we're going to get rid of that.
Or the only review that the refs have to do is the scoring play. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Other than that,
Like they
everything
do
is
in the NFL.
everything. Yeah, everything else is the coach. If and you let it go that way.
Yeah. All right. So those are the new rules. Now everyone knows the new rules for college football. Here's the deal. I would like anyone to drop a comment down below. If you are confused about any rule, we will answer them for you. We are well versed in college football. We will answer any rule you might be confused about. Whether it's in what is holding, whether it's what's targeting, whatever you want, go ahead and just drop a comment down below. We will feel free to answer them. Again, mostly college football, all the social platforms. Comment on the YouTube video. I think I have comments open even on Spotify, so go ahead and drop them in there. Whatever you want to do, we'll answer them. All right, Robert, we are mostly college football, so we are going to go to some other topics that we can talk about. And this is a good one before we get into the tastiness of previewing actual football. That was so.
That was
Yeah,
that was a bit much.
yeah, a little bit much, but that's all right. All right, so I found this scrolling on Facebook one day. This is by Mountain Dew. I found this on August 4th. I'm just bringing it up now because I forgot that I sent it to myself. Which 10 states buy the most Mountain Dew Code Red? By far, Mountain Dew Code Red, I would say, is the worst Mountain Dew.
I haven't drank Mountain Dew in like 12 years.
I used to do pizza rolls and Mountain Dew for college football Saturdays. That's what I used to do when I was a teenager and didn't care about what my inside body felt like and looked like. But now I do, and I have to be an adult. All right, so Robert, you want to play a guessing game?
Let's do it.
Okay, so Go ahead and hit me with the state.
Florida.
Florida is number 5.
New York.
New York, I saw my phone. New York is number 6.
Interesting. Let's go. Well, Ohio.
Number 1.
Hell
The
yeah.
number 1 state is
Degenerates.
in Ohio. Why is it Ohio?
What? It's a lot of Skyline Chili and Mountain Dew Code
and
Red.
Mountain Dew Code. That's a lot of sugar and a lot of Red 40, my dude.
Jesus. That is. Woo!
All right.
Michigan.
Michigan is number 4.
Let's go Bama.
Yeah, Alabama does not make the list. And I will narrow it down for you. It is no one on the West Coast.
I was gonna say California based off population, but I was like, no way. That there's no way that amount of sugar and coloring is making it past
Yeah.
the government there. So let's go. I want to say Texas. How far west does it go?
Everything.
Tell me it's everything east of the Mississippi.
It is.
That is phenomenal.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm not. That's not my subject. I think so.
So what you're telling me is Mountain Dew sales are really down in the West.
Yeah. No one's buying Red 40 out west.
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania is number 2.
Makes total sense.
Yeah.
You know, when you look at the people, it starts to make sense.
Yeah.
Because number 3's got to be Jersey.
No.
No. Jersey's not even on it.
Jersey's not even on it.
Wow. So
New
Georgia.
York is as north as it goes, by the way. So you already got New York, right?
Yeah. Georgia.
Georgia's not in it.
Interesting. Let's go Kentucky. West Virginia.
Nope.
Virginia.
No. However, I would have also guessed West Virginia number 1.
West Virginia and Kentucky kind of felt like it would be.
Yeah.
Tennessee.
Close, but no.
So that would be like, man, my geography is really getting tested here. Illinois.
Illinois is number 9.
Indiana.
Indiana is number 3.
That explains Gary, Indiana.
Yeah, it does. So you have the top. You have the top 6.
Yeah. So now what leads me to the Carolinas? Give me North Carolina.
That's 7.
And then give me South Carolina.
That not on the list.
Maryland.
No. So everything is going to be west.
South, like southwest. So let's go Louisiana, Alabama.
You got to go north.
If we go north of there, then Kentucky, Tennessee. Who am I missing? What states am I missing here?
Missouri at 8.
And then there's got to be one in the south, Mississippi.
Top of the United States, Wisconsin at number 10.
You know, I wanted to say Wisconsin because they just released that Wisconsin drinks the most alcohol.
Oh, yeah, because you can mix that in whiskey. Mountain Dew and whiskey is pretty good, apparently.
I would imagine. It probably doesn't look good coming back up, but
it doesn't got to look good as long as it stays down, brother. All right.
You're not wrong.
All right, so that was some other news. So now you know the top 10 states that Mountain Dew Code Red sales are the most in. All right, Robert, week 0, we made it. I'm so happy. I've only said we made it about 10 times so far on this podcast, but I am very excited. Some notable week 0 games. So this week 0 slate's a little better than it had been kind of the previous 2 years. North Carolina, TCU. I think that's an intriguing matchup for multiple reasons. San Jose State, USC should be a laugher. However, San Jose State throws the ball around and plays offense very well. Jacksonville State, North Dakota State. Sacramento State, Eastern Michigan, both of those feature teams that have made the jump from FCS to FBS in Sacramento State, North Dakota State, Stanford, Hawaii, just because Hawaii and Stanford, I don't know. And then at the bottom, and let's start here, Memphis, UNLV, 10 p.m. Fox. This is very underrated because UNLV is the favorite to win the Mountain West, and Memphis is third favorite to win the American. So you have two teams going in that are betting favorites to win their conference, looking to start off strong and not own one. Someone's got to do it. Also, Dan Mullen with the running Rebs there. He kind of turned down multiple Power 5 jobs offer, from what I understand. And Memphis is under new management after Silverfield left for Arkansas. Do you have anything on either of these teams?
The main thing is just that Dan Mullen should have never been fired from Florida. But I mean, this game could be probably the game of the weekend, in theory, which is a shame because it's a 10 p.m. game. So I'm probably going to watch the first kickoff, first two drives. After that, bedtime. But both of these teams have had historically pretty powerful offenses. The defenses have been okay. Dan Mullen usually gets that team running very well, at least for the past couple seasons. UNLV's been pretty potent. So
Yeah.
I would look forward to that game very much.
Do you remember Aaron Nolan?
Yes, Aaron Nolan. He used to be on Ohio State's. He was I don't know if he was number one, but he was one of like the top recruits that ended up going to Ohio State.
He is the quarterback for Memphis.
Yeah, which makes it
intriguing, right?
A very, like, Memphis probably could put up some big numbers.
Over at UNLV, again, they're going to put up a bunch of numbers. They got Jackson Arnold. Okay at Oklahoma, terrible at Auburn. But
everyone
Dan
was
Mullins,
terrible at Auburn, though.
Everyone was terrible at Auburn, yes. But Dan Mullins, as you said, gets the best out of offenses and quarterback. People forget he was the offensive coordinator for Tim Tebow. He made Tim Tebow. He made Florida's offense. So he's been doing this a long time. Alex Orji is still there. I would suspect that he'll be in not allowed to throw, but he'll be inserted at some point into the running game. The running, I am very bullish on, as you said, Dan Mullen. He's just, boy, do they got a lot of tight ends. They got like 7 tight ends. Holy cow. So we're going to pick all these games later, but again, I think UNLV is probably, they are heavy favorites, by the way, in the Mountain West. Like, it's them, and then I think it's North Dakota State, who is like 300 some points away from them.
Well, it also makes sense, though, because the Mountain West, everyone that was good in the Mountain West left minus UNLV because they all went to the Pac-12.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, they went and formed the new Pac-12. So so it really, if you're looking at
mainly Boise State, that was their big competition. You know,
if you're looking at Dan Mullins, it's like, okay, let's win a conference championship now. I don't know how much money is being poured into the program, but I would assume it's a healthy amount being out there in Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, there is no excuse if UNLV does not just run the table, unless it's because of North Dakota State. That would be the only, because who else in there has been historically good? No one, really.
Yeah, Hawaii maybe back in the day, early 2000s, like 2006.
I cannot wait for Hawaii to have to fly all the way to Illinois.
They play Illinois this year.
Northern Illinois. It's a conference game.
Oh yeah, yeah. They went to Michigan one year. Michigan was like, it was 42. just the team that they took on the sideline. Michigan had like 130 some players, and then Illinois comes back, and even Carey looked at me and goes, "Their bench looks a little empty, doesn't it?" I'm like, "Welcome to Hawaii, man.
Yeah.
Not a lot of travel money there." Okay, Jacksonville State, North Dakota State. Jacksonville State a couple years ago made this same jump, done pretty well. North Dakota State, they've played actually the last 2 week zeros, they've played FBS teams. Now they're playing an FBS team as a member of the FBS. This is very exciting.
Yeah, this is what everyone has essentially been waiting for the past like 6 years. It was just a matter of time before they got that bump to the FBS, that Division 1, to start playing with the big boys, for it actually start meaning something on the big stage. We're finally going to get a look at it. It's going to be the first televised game for the Fargo Dome as a FBS Division 1 team. It's that's the history game for them.
I am very intrigued long term, and I just had this thought, to how much money is there, because that's what you need nowadays. How much money is there surrounding North Dakota State program? You probably needed some level of money at the FCS level, and they had enough to at least be good. But mostly it was, as we have touched on, it was kids playing for the love of the game. Well, now at this level, that's not going to cut it. Good coaching will definitely help, but then good coaches get poached. So long term, I'm very interested to see. I'm not even going to pretend like I know either of these rosters or anyone on either of these rosters. But Jacksonville State, last year, they were pretty good, were they not? I'm looking it up now.
No, I think they were middle of the road, if not bad.
They only had 1, 2, 3, 4. They had 5 losses, so they went
middle of the road.
Yeah, 8-5 last year. Half decent. And then North Dakota State, again, they're bringing, I don't know how infused they got with actual FBS talent, or if this is just all FCS talent making the jump, but they were competitive with FCS talent, so I'll be very interested to see how they can compete with Jacksonville State and others in the Mountain West as we go along. All right, Virginia, NC State. This is a conference game. This is very big because it is a conference game. This follows North Carolina TCU at 3:30 on ESPN. Virginia is coming off a year from being in the ACC title game and almost representing the ACC, possibly in the college football playoff. They have Eli Holstein, who was at Pitt last year, now slinging the rock for them around. They also have Bo Perbula, so we'll have to see who actually starts for the Virginia Cavaliers on Saturday. I haven't heard an announcement. Have you?
I'm pretty sure it's Bo.
Okay. Bo struggled to throw the ball at Missouri last year, but was that scheme or was that actual Bo? He looked semi-decent at Penn State in mop-up duty and kind of backup duty. Virginia is led by Tony Elliott, national championship experience at Clemson under Dabo. Their running back room, they got a lot of them, but led by Xavier Brown. They should be, and this is what everyone is thinking, is this a new Virginia that can dominate the ACC or compete at the ACC level? The defense should be very good. It's a bunch of upperclassmen I'm seeing as well. But then NC State forever has just been almost, right? Like, I remember when they were ranked and they would go against Clemson and Clemson would just dominate them. But they got CJ Bailey back for another year. He's been starting for a couple years now down there. They got Amari Aker, a true freshman, coming in. He's making some noise from what I hear from the podcast I listen to. They have a lot of talent. Oh my gosh, they have a lot of wide receivers. How many wide receivers do you think they got on their roster?
12.
20.
Oh. Wow.
So they might be
That's
throwing the ball a lot.
that's a lot.
And they might be throwing all, but they got like 8 tight ends too. A lot of people are picking NC State as the sleeper as well. Why? I'm not really sure, unless if they were a lot better last year than what I remember. They were kind of middle of the road. They also had 5 losses last year. They beat Virginia 35-31 in week 2 last year. They did win their bowl game against Memphis. So, can they turn the page? I don't even know who their head coach is, and I'm looking that up. Robert, thoughts on Virginia, NC State?
It's very nice to see that we're going to get a big, big, big in quotation marks conference game right out the gate. Virginia actually turned into something pretty decent last year. They were ranked top 25, correct?
Yes.
Virginia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So to see if they can kind of piggyback off of what they accomplished last year, NC State, they're just a weird team. They in the beginning of the year they kind of usually start off ranked, usually pretty high, not high, but like in the 20s, and then they just kind of fall apart. So I don't expect much from North Carolina State. I expect more from Virginia. So I mean, depending on how that game goes, kind of shapes how at least the middle to top half of the ACC might look.
Yeah. Dave Dorian has been there 14 seasons now.
For him,
It was the 2016
position does
kind
he
of
play?
head coach, bud.
Okay, so you have to assume people have been there for
Oh,
20 years anymore. So
I apologize that I wasn't quicker on that joke. Yeah, very good joke. Too dense for that joke. It was the kind of the 2015 to 2019 that North Carolina State kind of was pushing and ranked in, as you said, in kind of the late 20 kind of teams ish, and Clemson would be coming to town, or they would go to Clemson and they would kind of duke it out a little bit, and Clemson would always, from what memory serves, kind of walk away with that. So this is going to be fun. I love conference games early in the year because we start so fast in college football and we're shaping the conference immediately as we go. So it is going to be very entertaining. And I'm glad that, like last year, I felt like you had one game in Ireland and then the rest of the slate was terrible. At least we're getting back-to-back games. Speaking of Ireland, we are Bill Belichick and North Carolina Tar Heels taking on TCU. There is some news out of TCU. They have actually dismissed a player, and I believe it's their leading wide receiver from last year, was hospitalized because one of their transfer players came in and beat him in the locker. So that player obviously was dismissed. They don't know. I'm looking it up now for his name. Yes. Oh my goodness. Jacob Fields was the player dismissed. Dozie Izukama. Yeah.
I was waiting to see how you're going to do it.
Yeah. You want to help me with that? You got a guess?
I got to find. He was a wide receiver, yeah.
He was a wide receiver.
I think he did pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
You sounded out the letters.
Okay. All right. So is he going to play? That is the question. He's not going to play.
I think they said he's not making the trip.
Okay. So they are down a weapon. North Carolina is going to go with Billy Edwards at quarterback. That was recently announced. They are freshman heavy. They didn't hit the portal nearly as hard this year, but North Carolina's dealing with drama. Their GM and Belichick's right-hand man has been dismissed from the program, or not dismissed, but put on administrative leave, not with the program at all. Billy Edwards is going to start. What are they doing at running back? What are they doing at wide receiver? What I'm interested to find out is, how good is this defense? Because Bill always had good defenses, no matter what. in New England, and how much of his acumen is going to be followed. Because I feel like the thought was, I know what I'm doing. I can come in and I can take any competent football player and coach them up to the college level and compete at the highest level. And last year, that was not true. So is that true this year?
North Carolina is either going to be a bonfire for multiple years, or they are going to turn into one of the greatest stories in three
Yeah,
or 4 years.
no in between. You're
Because
right.
it's going to be that freshman class sticking with the program, sticking with Bill, and just kind of building, dealing with the hard times. Because, North Carolina wasn't great last year.
They were terrible
Are
last year. Yeah.
are they going to be remotely competitive this year? I think they're going to be competitive, but I think a lot of the freshman mistakes are probably going to happen, and that's when like the frustration really hits. But it's going to be North Carolina might be fun to watch as the season progresses to see how these kids progress. There will be the team that you tune in 10 weeks down the line and you're like, oh, they only lost 4 games. You know what I mean? Like one of
Right.
those
Yeah.
kind of stories. TCU, I mean, it's TCU and they play in the Big 12. The only thing coming out of the Big 12 is they might be good, they might not be good. Don't know.
I
It's
and I
they're a crapshoot.
and what kind of offense does TCU typically run? Because I got something on this that I just learned today.
I want to say typically it's an air raid.
Right. Okay. Sonny Dykes air raid. They brought in, so Kendall Briles went to South Carolina. He's an air raid son of Art Briles. It's 4 verticals, power ranking, basically. They brought in Gordon Samus. He comes from UConn and is a huddle power run game. Not really focused on air raid. He is a power run game guy. So they are completely switching their identity from what their head coach is, and their Sonny Dykes' system is very good at producing numbers, but now it's something completely different. How does that start early in the season?
Here's what I'll give though. UConn had one of the best receivers last year, Skylar Bell.
Yeah, you're right.
I
You'd be
mean, and
right.
he had a ton of yards, touchdowns. So even though they ran that style offense, he still got the ball, which is kind of what you want though, is if you're going to run a run heavy offense, that opens up your passing game. So if you could take both and mold them together, you could have a great offense. But you can't just sit and favor a run. You can't do what Michigan does and just run the ball and run the ball and run the ball. You have to. You got to throw that ball. You got to score in points. Put people in seats.
So when I found that out today, that just adds another layer to an interesting storyline. You have the Bill Belichick storyline. You have the TCU. TCU quietly won like 9 games last year. Okay, so TCU and they are also maybe up there competing with Texas Tech. Possibly people are like, well, don't be sleeping on them. Then this whole locker room thing happens, and people are saying that Sonny Dykes was kind of aware, but not really paying it. Like what is this team? What should be noted is the loser of this week 0 Ireland game, their season typically falls apart.
Does it ever?
So,
Florida State, baby.
Florida State, last year, Kansas State kind of fell apart.
Oh man.
So, what's the weather going to be? Because the last kind of 2 years, it's been like raining and stuff.
Rainy.
All right. This is going to be there are lots of storylines to this week 0 Ireland game. Can someone break the trend of their seasons not falling apart? How does TCU's acumen? How is North Carolina? Belichick. It's just great to be back. It is great to be back. And so we are going to switch to the segment Games of the Week. And for the first time in podcast history, we have a sponsor for this segment. Robert, do you like couches? Couches.
Yeah. Nothing. I would rather sit in a couch, lay in a couch, anything on the couch, really. Some snacks.
Snacks on the couch, they are great. Well, that is great because our new sponsor for Games of the Week is Kindred Couches. In today's busy world, there's nothing like taking the time to watch your favorite team play on Saturday. Bob, we got Tuesday, Wednesday games, Thursday games, maybe even Sunday, in a few weeks. And you can all do that from a brand new couch by Kindred Couches. And now, if you use the promo code JT was short, you can get $150 off any order over $1,500 when you use the code, as I said, JT was short at kindredcouches.com or in store. $1,500 does not include delivery or taxes. Terms and conditions apply. That is KINDRED couches.com. Use the promo code JT was short and get $150 off any order $1,500 or more. All right, we are making picks. We are going to start in the land of Ireland. TCU, UNC, Bob, who you got?
I'm going to take the shot, and I'm going to go North Carolina. Do I think this game is good? Absolutely not. This is probably the worst game of the weekend.
Okay.
Just to set the tone for the college football season, it's not an appealing game. Neither teams are appealing. The only appealing things about it is the fact of any story about Bill Belichick and the fact that Sonny Dykes has lost control of the locker room. That's about it.
But you are taking UNC.
I will take UNC. I will bite that bullet.
Okay. I will not bite that bullet, and I will take TCU. I'm not sure how I'm less confident in this pick now that I know that they changed offensive systems, and it's going to be something a little bit different than it was last year. But until I see Belichick and the product produce something on the field, I got to take TCU. Virginia, the game immediately following them, Virginia, NC State, Bob.
Give me the Cavaliers from Virginia.
Okay. I am going to take the consistency, which is CJ Bailey and NC State. And I just get a 3-year starter at quarterback in the system with CJ Bailey. So go ahead and give me the Wolf Pack of NC State. All right, Memphis, UNLV. Like I said, very intriguing storyline. 2 betting favorites to win their conference, their separate conferences, but who you got?
For the game of the night, I am going to take the Memphis Tigers.
Okay. You are taking Memphis, and I would assume Aaron Nolan is getting the start. I would assume. I'm going to take the other side of that. I'm going to take UNLV. We are keeping points, and for all that wonder, and I don't know what the winner is going to get or the loser is going to have to do or anything like that, but one of us is going to be very wrong because we are very opposite on this. I'm just letting everybody know. Okay, Jacksonville State, North Dakota State.
North Dakota State. Home game, first game, lots of energy.
I'm also going to take that. All 3 of us took North Dakota State University here. Stanford and Hawaii. I have them on there because I needed another game to pick, and I don't know, something to do.
Another snooze fest of a game. Give me Hawaii.
Okay, all right.
I'll take you. Are they still the Rainbow Warriors?
I believe so. Yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm gonna take Andrew Luck. Very involved. I'm gonna take Andrew Luck and Stanford there. And then this is a week 1 game technically, but it's happening on Thursday, and I don't think next week 1 pod will make it out in time to the listeners to listen for it. So we're going to cover it now. Georgia Tech, Colorado, just little tiny preview here. Dion's got to get it going or he's probably out the door. And then Georgia Tech completely reloading, and at quarterback is for Fernando Mendoza's brother, Alberto. Very exciting game. Georgia Tech went into Colorado last year, got the win. Can Colorado return the favor this year?
I'm going to say no, they do not. I'm going to take Georgia Tech. This is the beginning of the end of Dion's career as head coach.
I am also in agreement with you here. I love the Georgia Tech program and the head coach and everything he stands for and the toughness of that program. I'm only concerned because Haynes King isn't there to show that toughness and lead with that toughness. That's my only concern there. Simeon's picks are TCU, Virginia, UNLV, North Dakota State, Stanford, and Georgia Tech as well. So him and I only differ on the NC State Virginia pick, and then you and him differ a few different times along
Yeah,
the way.
yeah.
So
I'm taking the road less traveled. So yeah.
I love it. Robert, one thing I assume you're going. Are you going to watch multiple games this weekend? Are you just going to watch the one? Like what's your
No.
watching plan for this weekend?
So I'll tune in for the TCU North Carolina game. I know I'm going to get bored because that game, it's you get that super excitement for the game. You start the game, all the pageantry, you love it. You get into the game, you're like, great, these two teams are bad. Probably by halftime, I'll end up doing something else and have it in the background. The big games for me, obviously, is going to end up being North Carolina State, Virginia. Should be a good game. North Dakota State and Jacksonville State should also be a good game. And then it's probably going to end up, I would like to watch some of the Memphis UNLV game.
Yeah, it's on
How much
late.
of that
Got it.
actually gets,
You got to
you
take
know,
a nap. Maybe take a nap
okay,
second half of
I'm
TCU
gonna have to.
UNC. Yeah.
I could do that, or I might as well just take a early nap for Hawaii Stanford because
Watch that be the game of
that's
the
gonna be.
day.
Oh man, that if that ends up becoming the game of the day, that's bad. That's not good because that is definitely probably the least watched game.
Well, that's true. It is on CBS Sports Network. I'm just very excited that I get to be here for another season alongside you. Simeon hopefully will be back by at some point in time. He's actually at the beach this weekend, or we are recording on Tuesday, so he's at the beach kind of this first half. So why he's not with us here. We are very excited to have Kindred Couches along with us and the podcast. We are very thrilled. Check out, they got lots of good stuff. So go check them out. Please do if you need a new couch. They same week shipping, lots of good prices, lots of really quality stuff. So please go check them out and use that code JT was short, get some money off there. And we look forward to everyone listening along for the next 16, 17 weeks. It's going to be a great season. I feel it. I feel
It's
it in
another
me.
journey.
It's another journey, another story. Chapter 1 starts Saturday at noon. I cannot wait to turn it on, crack a beer right as toe meets leather, sip on a beer, and watch some actual meaningful football at the college level. And until then, I hope everyone wash your hands if